talked about intersections of sets. Intersection of sets was this symbol up here. And remember I said if you can make the word and out of it, it's and, so it would have to be in both. And then this one, the union, goes with the U. Remember, if you don't remember which one's which word, it doesn't matter. They give it to you on your form sheet. At least they do, right? They just don't tell you if it's and or. This one doesn't make an and. It looks stupid. So it is the word or. And or, if it's in either or, you would list it, right? So or often has more options. Because if it's in either or of the sets, you're going to list it. So like I said to you, if I wanted the people in social, put your hand up. People in English, put your hand up. If you're still in social, put your hand up. Social or English, put your hand up. So if you're in social or English, there's way more hands, correct? Okay, now do this. I want the people who are in social and English to put your hand up. Look at how many less hands there are. Because if it's and, you have to be in both in order to list it. So I can list Ava's name because she was in social and in English. I would write Ava, correct? Yes. So when it's and, I can only list the names of the people who are in both. If you're in social or English, put your hand up. Now I would list all these names. Because if you were in social or you were in English, you get listed. Right? So, or there's more. So, disjoint sets. That was the other one we haven't talked about. Two sets are said to be disjoint if they have nothing in common. So if I asked you, how many of you are in, I want you to raise your hand if you're in English 30 and Math 7. I would pick Math 7 because I hope none of you were in it, and it worked out. Okay, so that would be an empty set. There's no one in this class in English 30 and Math 7, right? So I would do the squiggly brackets and put an empty set, that circle with a line through it. So disjoint sets are two sets that have nothing in common. So if my set that I gave you was English 30 and my other set was Math 7, then it was disjoint. There's no one in this class in English 30 and Math 7, right? Disjoint, empty set. So here was an example. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are disjoint because they have nothing in common. Which of the above sets, E, L, or O, are disjoint? Are there any of them in E, L, or O that have nothing in common? I see 2. Yeah.
Well, L and O have one, but
so that doesn't work. Which of the two, not all 3 sets, which 2 sets have nothing in common? Yeah. E and O have nothing in common. E has 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and O has 1, 3, 5, right? E has 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. You were looking at all 3 of them. I didn't explain it very well. We just needed 2. So it would be E and O. You could write it like this. E intersection O equals the empty set because they're disjoint. So if ever you take the intersection of 2 sets and it's empty, they're disjoint sets. They have nothing in common. Disjoint means nothing in common. So we're going to use those definitions in this example 3, which actually starts here, but it's on the next page. So here we have, consider the sets A, B, C from class example 2, which we did before. Natural numbers less than 20. So we wanted, A was the ones that were divisible by 3, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. B were the natural numbers less than 5, 5, 10, 15, natural, divisible by 5, sorry, and then multiples of 6. Now, I want to write out the universal set, too, to help us out. So the universal set is the natural numbers. Natural numbers start at what? What do you naturally count? 1, right? No genius toddlers count. So 1, 2, 3, where am I going to stop at?
19.
Yeah, why am I stopping at 19 and not 20?
Less than.
Yeah. Why would I list the universal set? Because the universal set is helpful if they ask me anything about the complements. Because remember, what is the complement of A? Everything that's in the universal set but not in A. What's the complement of B? Everything in the universal set but not in B. Complement of C? Everything in the universal set but not in C. Right? So here it wants me to list the elements in the following and describe a set of words. I don't need you to describe it. I just want you to list the elements. What symbol is this? Is it intersection or union? Intersection. And it's on that paper with it too. So this is intersection. So instead of doing the symbol, they could have wrote A intersection B. Now, does that symbol mean and or? And. Why? Because I could write the word and with it. Correct? Like if I went and took this symbol, I went like this. Oh, it's on the pointer. I went like this. It would write the word and. Correct? So now let's think about this. I need the elements that are in A and B. So they need to be in both, right? A and B. If they're not in both, I can't list them. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. 15. So I go equals 15. What symbol is this? A what? Union. B. Now, A union B. Union, does it mean and? Could I write an and with that U? No, that would be silly. So it means what? Or, and or often means more. So if it is in A or in B, I write it. That's it. So if it appears in A or it appears in B, I write it. What if it appears twice? Do I write it twice? No, I still only write it once. Like that 15, I'm not going to write it out twice. I'm just going to write it once. So if it's in A or it's in B, it gets listed. So or often means more. So what's in A? A has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, and what does B have? 5, 10, and 15. Do I have to write 15 again? No. P.S. I would never write it like this because it's out of order and it bothers me. But you can write it out of order. I would write it as 3, 6, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18, and a 5 in here. Oh gosh, I put it out of order. So if it's in either or, I list it. And it has to be in both. Or it's in either or. Does that make sense? Either or, and. And it's both. Either or, list it. So or is often more. So this one is what? What symbol is this? And. Because I can write the word and with it. So it's the complement of A, intersection B is how they could write it as well, without the symbol. Now this is really hard if you don't have the complement of A. So I will find it. Some of you will wing it from your head. You're like, I don't want to write, I'm lazy. I would suggest you not go that route. So I'm going to write the complement of A here to help myself out. Now, if A has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18, the complement of A, I need the universal set in order to figure out the complement of A, right? Because the complement of A is everything that's not in A, but in that universal set, right? So A has 3, but it doesn't have 1, 2. Okay, it doesn't have 4, 5. It has 6. It doesn't have 7, 8. It has 9. It doesn't have 10, 11. It has 12. It doesn't have 13, 14. It has 15. It doesn't have 16, 17. It has 18. And I stop at 19. And why do I stop at 19? Because the universal set says I have to stop at 19. Right? I can't keep going. The universal set is the numbers 1 to 19. So the complement of A are all the numbers in the universal set that are not in A. If I take the complement of A, and I find the union of them, it should be the universal set. If I take the complement of A, I'll repeat that. If I take the complement of A and the union with A, it should equal the universal set. Because this is or. So if it was not in the complement of A or not A, and it was in A, and I listed all those things in either order of them, I get the universal set back, right? Because they're complements of each other. Conversely, if I say this, the complement of A and A, what's in the complement of A and an A?
Nothing.
The empty set, they're actually disjoint. There's nothing in common because they're complements of each other, right? There would be nothing that's in the complement of A and A because they're opposites, complete opposites. So I want here what's in the complement of A and in B. So what do they share in common? 5 and 10? Yeah. That's it. I want you to tell me what's in these. Try them out. Let's look, even if you're not completed, it's okay. So here we want B intersection C. Is this and or? It's and, because it would write the word and. So I want what's in B and in C. What are the elements that are in B and C? B has 5, 10, 15. C has 6, 12, 18. Empty set. So what are these two sets actually? What was the word we used?
Disjoints.
They're disjoint sets. Didn't ask us this. This is a side note. What about A union C? What's in A or C? Because this doesn't make and, right? That's stupid. So it's or. So if it's in A or it's in C, we list it, yeah?
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18.
Exactly. Is this one an intersection? It's an intersection, sorry. Is that and or or? And, because I would write the word and. So, what's in A and C? Margarita?
6, 12, 18.
6, 12, 8. Okay? Then we have a little add-on. They're going to give us a set D. Now, what do we know about math? Bed mass is a thing. That's what we know that, right? Which means brackets always have to be done first. So what we're going to have to do here is we're going to actually have to do these brackets first. And then find the intersection of A and whatever the heck that is. Okay? So what does B contain? I want to write it down here so because I don't want to. You can look, but I can't. It's 5, 10, 15. And I should have wrote all of them. A has 3, 6, 3, 18. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And B has 6, 12, 18, I believe. Oh, I wrote, no, C has 6, 12, 18. All right. So this one here, A and B or D, right? So I have to do B or D first. So I'm going to do that first. B union D. And this doesn't make the word and. It's kind of dumb. So it's or. So if it's in B or it's in D, I list it, correct? If it's in B or it's in D, I list it. So what's in B or D? Well, D has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And B has 5, 10, 15. So all of those numbers, that's what's in B or D. If it's in B or it's in D, I list it. Right? If it's in B or it's in D, I list it. 4 means more. So I'm going to have 2, 4, 5 is in B, 6, 8, 10's in both, I still list it, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18. So that answered the B or D conundrum, correct? But now I have to do A and B or D. So I need to know what's in A and in the B or D. So all I do now is I go look at A. Oh no, that's disappointing. Didn't know I had an eraser there. So I look at A, everything in A, and I look at everything in B or D, and I list what's in what? In both. Because this is an and, right? So I list what's in both. So what's in A and B or D? Is 2? No. 3? No. 4, 5? No. What about 6? Yes. Okay, keep going. 9? 8? 10? 12? 12's in both. 14? No. 15? That's in both. 16? No. 18? That's in both. So this would actually be the answer. Do you see how I had to do that B or D first to help myself out? Okay, I want you guys to try this one. You're going to have to do the A and B first. A intersection B first to help yourself out. So try that one out. Okay. So, and should be easy, and or should be easier. And you guys all get stuck on or every single year, and then about 3 days later, you like figure out or. I don't know what it is, but A and B is easy because if it's in A and it's in B, I list it. So what's the only thing that's in and? What's the only thing that's in A and in B? 15. That's actually the hard one. And is the hard one, and you guys get stuck on ors. And is the hard one because you actually have to figure out what's in both. Or you literally can take the one set, write down the numbers, take the other set, write down the numbers, and don't even put them in order, and you'd be done. That's or. So for this one, when I have A and B or D, I cannot think about it. I can just do this, okay? If it has a union or an or, I list all the stuff in A and B, so that's 15. And then I also list all the stuff in D. So cool. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Done. Or you literally take the one set, write everything out of it, other set, write everything out of it. If you've written it already, don't write it twice. That's the only catch. Like if 15 was already written, I wouldn't have wrote it again. If you do write it again, they're not even going to like hurt you because of it. They would just be like, well, that kid shouldn't have wrote it twice. Okay, or is the easy one. You literally list anything in the first set, and then you list everything in the other set, and then you walk away. Like you don't have to overthink it. Everyone overthinks or. Or, if it's in this one, I write all of it, I write everything from here, and then bracket it. Call it a day. It doesn't even have to be in numerical order. Okay, so or should be your easy one, because you shouldn't think. You should just write down. Okay? So we're going to go to our workbooks. I would suggest you take pictures of your workbook, because this is your homework. What does odd mean? Well, I go to 9A, and then I do the odd Roman numerals. So like 1, 3, 5, just do every second one, basically. You know what I mean? And then B, you go to that one, do every second one. Just a part. You don't have to worry about the odd. If you did the evens and didn't do the odd part, that's every second one. I would be like, sure, you're good.